the main interview rounds, the preliminary and the partner round. So what was the experience with those? And as you already mentioned, these are just case rounds. So
Right.
how was your learning, and how much long were the rounds also? Like what was the
Right.
duration of the rounds?
Right. So for me, the rounds like lengths varied a lot, but I think on an average they were like the preliminary rounds were on average for me 30 to 40 minutes, and the partner rounds on an average about 1 hour for me. So
Okay.
now I think we had 4 rounds, I think, and in two of my rounds, I was asked two cases. So in my very first preliminary round, I had two cases. One was a very short case, and it was fairly straightforward. The second case in that round was extremely complicated, and I could not really complete it. And they had like different industries, like airline industries, or let's say an agriculture industry, and they spanned a lot of different industries throughout the 4 rounds. I think one big learning was that even if you make a mistake, or even if you make, let's say, an error like conveying. So, for example, in one of my rounds, I made a mistake in conveying million billion, and that is generally
Okay.
considered like a big mistake. However, as long as you clarify it immediately, and as long as you do the other parts well, it does not really go against you that much. So that is something which obviously you should take care of, but not really think that your chance has been lost, or like you have given up. So do not really give up even if you make a mistake. Just try to rectify it and move on, and do not get nervous or flustered. So that is one
Okay.
major thing which I learned. And whenever I was asking for a piece of information, they were asking me as to why do you want this information, or what will you do with
Oh.
this information? Why are you asking for this? And at every juncture, they would make me question it just so that I could have a better workflow or a better a chain of thought. And while that could have gone in the other way as to me doubting myself, instead I just
Mhm.
explained whatever I was doing, and if they seemed okay with it, then I just moved on. And I could not really complete that case because even after 1 hour, since there were two cases even in that round, even after 1 hour, there was not enough time and we had reached only about half the case. And they did not
Oh.
really mind. They just wanted to see if I was approaching the correct solution or not, or if my pathway would eventually lead to the correct answer. So I think one major takeaway for me was that it's okay to not be able to solve it as long as you are doing the process and everything in the process correctly.
Okay. That's very nice.
Like it's obviously the best case scenario if you can solve all cases. That's like the best case scenario. But sometimes it does
Mhm.
not work out that way because maybe the partner just does not want you to reach a solution because they want to see how well you work under a pressure scenario. So that
Mhm.
might be something which is happening.
Okay.
To know more about this video, link is in the description.